inflicting pain and humiliation. Power is in tearing human minds to pieces and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. Do you begin to see then what kind of world we are creating? It is the exact opposite of the stupid, hedonistic utopias that the old reformers imagined. A world of fear and treachery and torment, a world of trampling and being trampled upon, a world which will grow not less but more merciless as it refines itself. Progress in our world will be progress toward more pain. The old civilizations claimed that they were founded on love and justice. Ours is founded upon hatred. In our world there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. Everything else we shall destroy. Everything. Already we are breaking down the habits of thought which have survived from before the revolution. We have cut the links between child and parent, and between man, and between man and woman. No one dares trust a wife or a child or a friend any longer. But in the future there will be no wives and no friends. Children will be taken from their mothers at birth, as one takes eggs from a hen. The sex instinct will be eradicated. Procreation will be an annual formality, like the renewal of a ration card. We shall abolish the orgasm. Our neurologists are at work upon it now. There will be no loyalty except loyalty toward the boy. There will be no love except the love of Big Brother. There will be no laughter except the laugh of triumph over a defeated enemy. There will be no art, no literature, no science. When we are omnipotent, we shall have no more need of science. There will be no distinction between beauty and ugliness. There will be no curiosity, no employment of the process of life. All competing pleasures will be destroyed. But always, do not forget this, Winston, always there will be the intoxication of power, constantly increasing and constantly growing subtler. Always at every move there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Evening, folks. Hope you're having a good one. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man? Space Marine 2, I completed it the other night. I completed Space Marine 2 the other night. It was good. It was good. It did go down in score a little bit for me. I will say. It did go down in score a little bit. Mainly because, well, the campaign, you know, it sort of just ended, you know. There are a few really good moments in it, but it just kind of ended. Do you know what I mean? The online portion of Space Marine 2 is good. I'm really enjoying the PvE content. I think it's brilliant. Really enjoying that with friends. There aren't enough maps. Like the PvE is kind of locked into the campaign. Do you know what I mean? So wherever you go in the campaign, those are the similar maps where the PvE will be happening. I know there's more PvE coming, but right now there's not really enough to sink your teeth into. Once you've played PvE online for about, I don't know, a couple of hours, you're pretty much seeing what PvE does. You know what I mean? PvP, alright. I have a few issues with PvP in Space Marine 2, right? Few issues. First one is, in general, you can't upgrade your Heretic Astartes, and in most of the, how do I put this? Most of the matches I've had have been with Heretic Astartes and nothing else. The game seems to be kind of glitched, in that it just doesn't let you play anybody but Heretic Astartes in PvP, which is kind of weird. It's very, very strange. So you spend ages upgrading your own Space Marine, which is great. Thumbs up for that, right? I can actually make an Exiled Blade, just like an Exiled Blade, in Space Marine 2. Brilliant. Love that. But then you never play with them. Why? Because if you're not playing PvE, you'll never see your Space Marine. Because you're playing PvP against other players, and you're always Heretic Astartes. The reason why that matters... Don't worry, Noel, there won't be any spoilers. The reason why that matters is because everybody and the dog who's playing Space Marine 2 wants to see their own chapter running around doing what's what in PvP, right? So if you get a Heretic Astartes team, they generally run in their own directions. They don't play for the as a team, right? They don't play for objectives. They just fuck around, and it's a whitewash. Like the I've not seen a Heretic team win yet. I've had upwards of 50 odd matches in PvP. Not once has a Heretic team won. The score is out of 200. It's always 210 or 220. You know what I mean? 200 to the Astartes and 10 or 20 to the Heretic Astartes, because nobody cares. If you're playing Heretic Astartes, you're just there to run around, do your own thing, and fuck about. Which is fair enough if you want to do, like, you know, if you want to cosplay as, you know, Traitor Legions, I guess that's kind of accurate. But that we're playing a video game, do you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. PvP right now doesn't work. Because everybody wants to use their own Space Marines. They want to use their own Space Marine chapters that they spend hours customizing. And if they're not allowed to do that, because they're always getting put in as heretics, then generally, they just don't care. So they run around and they actively throw games. I've seen entire lobbies of Space Marine 2 PvP, right? Where I was playing as the Astartes, like one time in bloody one or two times out of 50. I was playing my own chapter, and I was buzzing. I was really happy. Finally, I get to play with as my own chapter. We can't find the Heretic Astartes anywhere, right? Where were they? Standing in their own deployment zone, AFK. Because they went, oh, okay, I don't want to play as Heretic Astartes. I'll go make a coffee. They AFK because you still get resources and requisition and stuff even if you lose a game. So they're just farming. So most of the Heretic Astartes players that I come across are just farming because they want to spend their resources on their own Space Marine chapter, and they don't want to play as Heretic Astartes because there's no customization. So what's the point? So that's the big issue. No, you can't. You can't make Heretic chapters. No. You can't. You can't. It's not that, Matthias. It's not that. It isn't that. It isn't that the Imperium can't lose. It isn't that at all. It's not that at all. And people don't want... If you buy a game called Space Marine 2, do you really think you want to be playing as a World Eater? No, you want to be playing as a Space Marine. Ideally, one you've created yourself. That's the good shit, right? If you deny half of a lobby the good shit, why are you surprised if a week later, the half of the lobby that doesn't get the good shit just stands there and ruins the game for everybody, right? The first couple of nights of Space Marine 2 online were brilliant, because everybody was really enthusiastic, everybody was really into it, and of course, gamers being gamers fucking ruined it for everybody, because that's what they do, right? That's just what they do. So a week later, the servers are crashing all of the time. Do you know why they're crashing all of the time? Because as soon as somebody loads into a PvP match and they realise they are Heretic Astartes, so many people back out of the game that it crashes the servers. Yeah. That's where we are. So it's everybody's fault, right? It's Focus Interactive's fault for not letting you customise your own Heretic Astartes chapter. Right? And it's the players' fault for being such salty little bitches, not just getting on with it and making the best out of a bad situation. It's everybody's fault. So PvP right now... Space Marine 2 was on for being in the art category, guys. It was nearly there. Then I downgraded it to a 10 out of 10. Then a 9. Now it's an 8. It's an 8 out of 10 now. Which is tragic, dude. It was on for so much more than that. But the campaign just ended. And I was like, okay. You know, I'm not going to spoil anything. But I was a bit underwhelmed. I was like, oh, okay. It's ended. Okay, fine. Whatever. Right? PvE is great, but there aren't enough maps, and every map you do get is linked to the campaign. So, technically, you've been there already, you know. PvP is a shit show. It was really good the first couple of nights, right now it's a shit show. So, that is an 8 out of 10 game, unfortunately. Maybe 7. Maybe 7. So, here's what I would have done. Here's what I would have done. Very funny, yeah, you Dark Angels. Here's what I would have done to fix it, right? I would have said, there will be no Heretic Astartes on release. You've just bought a game called Space Marine. So you get to create your Space Marine, right? And it's Space Marines versus Space Marines in PvP for the first 2 or 3 months of the game. Right? That's it. That's where we are. That's what I would do. And I would let you make your own Renegade chapters if you want. So there'll be Renegade parts. You can make the Soul Drinkers. You can make your own Renegade chapter with Chaos bits on it. You know, little spikes here or there. Just to show them being really Renegade-y and really evil. You know what I mean? But it would still be Astartes versus Astartes. So everybody gets to customise their own dude. Everybody gets to have fun. And PvP lobbies aren't a load of shit. That's what I would have done. And then 3 or 4 months down the line, then you bring in Heretic Astartes, and you let them get fleshed out and fleshed out and fleshed out, just like the normal Astartes are, because you've had time to work on it. That's what you do. Okay? You don't release a PvP mode with progression attached to Space Marines, and then one entire half of the lobby can't even progress the character they're playing. How stupid is that? It's ridiculous. There we go. But it's a good game. If you like Space Marines and you like 40k, it's a good game. Go play it. And people saying that Space Marine 2, I'll play some footage from it just so you can have something on. I think this is it. Yeah. This is footage, by the way. I'm not currently playing this, so don't panic. And this isn't story mode. This is just PvP and PvE, so don't worry about it. You can see how bad Warhammer games have been in general, right? By how well this game has been received. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this game ain't nothing special, dudes. This game ain't nothing special. It isn't. It's a decent game, and I really enjoy playing it, you know, and it's a game about Warhammer 40k and Space Marines. In my opinion, the best part of 40k. Great, cool. But still, Sorry, I have to point this out. Steady's colour scheme on the right there is a fucking abomination. I just need to say that. That's crazy. It just shows the state of Warhammer games on the internet, right? In gaming in general. You know, you've had things like Rogue Trader and things and games like that. It shows the utter state of Warhammer games on the computer. That this was seen as this wonderful, amazing thing. And it's an okay game. It's alright. It's alright. If this game wasn't about Space Marines, it wouldn't sell. That's my issue here. If this game was not about Space Marines or 40k, but it was the same game with the same gameplay, but just take away the 40k skin, it wouldn't sell any copies. Do you know what I mean? If you look at it in the cold light of day, it really wouldn't. It wouldn't sell. No one would care. Unfortunately, there is a game out there that does what this game does, but better, and it's called Helldivers 2. Especially for PvP and PvE stuff. No, sorry, PvE anyway, not PvP. Scruffy, it's got a good game loop for like 8-9 hours. Once you've done that game loop for 8-9 hours, you're done. Do you know what I mean? You're just done. Like after 8-9 hours of PvE and PvP, you're done. You've had enough. Like, I could play it tonight on stream. I kind of just feel like sitting here and having a little chat with you, dude. So I really do. I'm up for that. I'm up for like having a little chat. Yeah, I'm pretty much done with it. I'm pretty much ready to put it down. And how long have I played it for? Let's see. Let me just see on the thing here. So I played Space Marine 2 for 17 hours. Alright, so 17 hours, I'm pretty much done. I've completed the campaign, I played 50 odd matches of PvP, and I've completed all of the PvE missions at least once. And I'm done. Yeah, I don't see any... I've made my Exiled Blade, the guy here, which is great, which is what I wanted to do. And I will give the devs credit for this, right? The progression system is one of the best things I've seen in an online game in a long time. It is very, very kind. You're able to make whatever Space Marine you want after 2 or 3 online matches. You know what I mean? If you know what paint you want and what kind of Space Marine you want to make, you can make a good Space Marine in 2 to 3 matches. You know, I will give them that. The method of how you get your paint schemes and how you upgrade your Space Marine is very kind. It is very kind, and I appreciate that. So well done to them for that. I really did. I thought that was great. That might be it, Scruffy. Yeah, I get very once I've done a thing for like 18, 19 hours, generally I'm done. I'm like, okay, what else have you got here? You know, you better have something else. It's kind of why I love story-driven games like RPGs and stuff, because by design they're made to give you something new. Not in the gameplay, but in the story. It's always moving along. Do you know what I mean? It's always changing. It's always moving along. So yeah, I that's kind of why I like those games, I suppose. You know? Leave my poor Dark Angels alone. They help in their own way. Yeah. Dude, Dark Angels lore's weird now. Dark Angels lore's just a fucking mess now. You see that dodge then? Sick. Yeah. It's just weird. I'm not a big fan of the new lore of Dark Angels, to be honest with you. Because they're taking it in a direction, right? They are taking it in a direction where they don't have any more wiggle room, right? The Fallen are out there. The Fallen are out there, and they're getting together under Luther, and the Lion is now generally redeeming all of the Fallen that he can, right? This is somebody who said that loyalty is its own reward, by the way, and was so deeply ingrained in being loyal to the Emperor that he would literally do anything, even if you had to. If 30k Lionel Johnson, If the Emperor told him to kill every single one of his own sons in the Dark Angels, he'd do it. He wouldn't even think twice. And now all of a sudden, he's woken up from a nap and he's changed his mind, and he wants to redeem all. No, fuck these dudes. I don't care why you betrayed me. You fucking betrayed me. Like, I'm the lion, bitch. How dare you? You're gonna follow this little pipsqueak over here? This Luther dude over me? Go fuck yourself, right? So even the underlying reasons for the change in the Dark Angels lore, I'm not a big fan of. But then we get to the mechanics of it, like they're just bringing together all of the Fallen. Why? And just like Games Workshop usually do, they bring in these things into the lore and then never mention them again. You know, they will never mention that again. It won't come up. I'm telling you now. The Luther thing, it won't come up again. Maybe in 20 years when they need another big box to make them a lot of money, they'll do it. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying Scruffy. Like the forest walking thing, I agree that the lion coming back, he should have unlocked some sort of Primarch power, because each Primarch has a power, has a thing they can do, right? Each Primarch has that. They have a power that they can do. You know, Korax, basically, Corvus Korax turns into a fucking massive raven thing. You know, the Angron was supposed to be able to heal people around him, things like that. You know? And I get that, you know, that the forest walking thing is Lionel Johnson's power, quote unquote, but your power should be intrinsic to you as a Primarch. It shouldn't be anything to do with your homeworld or your upbringing. It should be something that the Emperor designed you to do. And I don't think the Emperor designed Lionel Johnson to walk around a fucking mined forest for a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's not something I see. Maybe his power is to ruin the lore. Yeah, maybe. Problem with doing a sandbox game... Yeah, they're so much better than the arena type. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sandbox games... If it's not made by Ubisoft, I'm kind of with you. Yeah, okay. Scruffy says, the problem with doing a sandbox game is that it takes either a lot of devs and a lot of talent, and the AAA industry has a severe lack of both. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. As we've seen by Ubisoft games for the most part, yeah? You know? Open world games are a bit of a plague, or at least they were for a while. Yeah. The thing is with open world games, though, when you do them right, whoa, are they generational? Do you know what I mean? When you do an open world game correctly, fuck me, man, that's a generational game, that. And I'm talking things like, say, you know, Skyrim, when it came out. Divides opinion these days, but that's because it's cool to hate on Skyrim and like Morrowind. I'm sorry, it is. It just is. It's cool to hate Skyrim and like Morrowind. Well, fuck you. I like Skyrim more than Morrowind. Because you know what Skyrim is? It's a sandbox. It's a sandbox. Morrowind isn't a sandbox. It's an open world game, but its strictures are so tight and so controlled on what you can and can't do. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the lore and what factions you can join and what you can do. Yes, in Skyrim you can basically do everything on one character, but you're not forced to, right? In fact, I think the game's designed in a way that, yes, you can do that if that's the game you want to play, but the game's designed in a way, Skyrim, where you probably shouldn't do that. You should roleplay a character who's got certain things about him that he likes to do. Like my orc character, for instance, would never join the Dark Brotherhood. He doesn't steal things. If he kills you, he can take your shit, because it's right of war, right? Right of conquest. But, you know, so you play characters like that. That's what it's designed to do. It's a sandbox. But Skyrim knows its place. It's a game, and it lets you play it in exactly the way that you want to play it. If you want to have a character who does everything on one character, go for it, man. That's you. Go and do that kind of thing. Great. Skyrim taught me that the more freedom you've got in a game to do what you want, when you want, and how you want is precious. In thank you very much for that positive geekery. Cheers, Dave. You're a top man. Thank you very much. He says, let's not forget Gilliman's amazing power to be where the plot requires instantly. Yeah, that's... Yeah, I still know Blood Angels fans who go mental over him turning up for the devastation of Baal when it looked like Sanguinius was coming back. But oh no, here's Gilliman again. But yeah, that's what I think anyway. I think it's very, very, very easy to look at games in a very lazy way and say, look, this game's brilliant because it has things you can't do in it. Well, that's not a good game. What are you talking about? It's so difficult and it doesn't let you move or it doesn't let you... That's shit. What? No, an RPG should let me do what I want. It's a role-playing game. I want to play a role and I want to choose that role. Thank you very much, which is why I think Skyrim is better than Morrowind. Yeah, I know it's a controversial take, but I just do. I bet within a year they'll bring Orcs back into Space Marine 2. They will. They've got to. I can't wait for that. That'd be good. And I'll be honest with you, Space Marine 2 is in a very, very interesting place because in a year or two, we might be seeing... How do I put it? In a year or two, we could be seeing... Maybe not a year or two. 1 year. In 1 year, we could be seeing a true generational game in Space Marine 2. Right? We could. It depends what they add to it. Right now, they've got a really good set of bones. But they've got no flesh, no sinew, no tendons, no veins, no nervous system, right? They've got a really good skeleton on which to build. That's what they've done. And I was happy to pay the extra bit to play it early in the end. I really did enjoy it. But that's all they've got. That's all they've got. I've got access to all of the DLC that's to come. So I'll be very interested to see what they come up with. And I will be there to play it. I will be very interested to see where they take this. Because it could go one of two ways, really. We could have an amazing game that's had content added to it for years to come and is a seminal work in the 40k Legendarium. Like, everything's there. It's brilliant, right? They add Orcs. They add customization to Renegade and Heretic Astartes chapters. Right? They have full campaign DLCs that are the size of the main campaign in this game. That kind of shit. That would get me... I'd be like, right, here we are. This is amazing, right? Or they could go the other way. Yeah, Flumberkin just said it. They could go the other way. Microtransactions. In-game currencies. Hardly any content being brought out for a walloping load of a price. And let's be honest, games these days, they have to earn your trust. Games have to earn your trust these days. That's where we are. Right? Games have to earn your trust. You can't go into games like Space Marine 2, like wide-eyed, thinking, oh, this will be fine. No, they have to earn it, man. You can't do that anymore. They've got to earn your time, earn your money, earn your trust. And if Space Marine 2 does that, we could be looking at an amazing game. Right now, it's kind of... It's the bare bones of an amazing game. Which I'm glad we've got. Yeah, I'm the same, Scruffy. Yeah. It's a good foundation, but it is only a foundation right now. But it is a good foundation. It is a good game. Ubisoft did the wrong thing with the open world games. They just made maps bigger and busier. That can be very boring. Skyrim at least was a handmade map with purpose. I think that's it as well. Is that a lot of people looked at Skyrim and took the wrong conclusion from it, right? The Witcher 3 did the right conclusion from it. They said, yeah, this is an open world, it's big, but it needs to have realistic things in realistic places. And there are rewards for exploring. We don't put things on the map, on the overmap. So it's like, fucking hell, it's horrible, right? All of these icons and shit. No. But then you get people like BioWare who are so stupid and lazy that they come up with something like Dragon Age Inquisition that is actively tiring to play at times. Dragon Age Inquisition is actively tiring to play. Phenomenal story, really enjoyed the story, but my god, dude, when you go to a new zone and you see all of those icons, you're like, oh no, not enough, leave me alone. Yeah, you just can't. Yeah, I've no idea about Focus's history, about their marketing, but I would hope they know what they're doing from this point. Yeah, so would I. So would I. Yeah. Well, Sean, The Witcher 3 was good in the fact that you're a Witcher, so I guess the whole point of Witcher 3 is you're not meant to be just walking around stumbling into caves and shit. You're supposed to be doing contracts and missions and stuff that Geralt would naturally do. And those would open out into, like, massive bits of content, that kind of thing. Focus on a mismatch, to be honest. Some of their games are DLC monsters, but they are smaller and less investor-focused, despite the name. Okay. Okay. Why go with microtransactions when you can add macro transactions? It's Games Workshop, after all. Yeah. 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 Nice going, man. Noel says, I can't play open world games anymore. They bore me to death. You know it's bad when playing a game becomes a job. Yeah. 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 But that's not like... I've done that with a lot of games, though. Not just open world games. A lot of games can become a job. You know? Football Manager can become a job. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best game ever made. That story, man. Yeah, I'm with you, Sean. The thing with Red Dead 2, right? Here's the thing. Now, I'm gonna catch some flack for this. I know I am. I'll get to that in a minute, Ed. Don't worry. It's an amazing story with amazing writing and amazing characters, but it can only really be played once. Do you know? And there is a good reason for that, right? The characters are so good, it's actively painful to play through it again, which is why I've never done it, because I know what's coming. Do you know what I'm saying? I know what's coming in the story of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I like the characters that much that I don't want to see it happen, so I don't play on. I don't do a second playthrough. I've tried several times. I can't. Right? It is a victim of its own success and its own writing, in my opinion. You can only experience Red Dead Redemption 2 once, in my opinion. Only once. You can experience Skyrim 90 times, and it's still, you'll find new things, and you'll be having fun there. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2, you can only do once. You know? Red Dead Online, yeah, you can play that forever if you want. I mean, it's not very good, but you can play it forever. Busy playing Vermintide and painting my Stormfiends. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to have a set of Skaventide here soon. That's going to be pretty cool. So, that'd be fun painting some Skaven, I guess. No, that's not. Games aren't for everybody, man. And this is the thing. I honestly just shrug. If somebody says the game isn't for them, I shrug. Because gaming's a big commitment, but a lot much bigger than it was. A game the size of Red Dead Redemption 2, if you're not getting it within a couple of hours, you need to put it down. It's such a massive game. If you're not getting quote unquote Red Dead Redemption 2 after say 4 or 5 hours, put it down. Put it down. Do something else. Sean says, Ed says, I've really gotten into the Gilliman lore-wise. Do you know what, Ed? So have I. So have I. Now, why have you? And character-wise this past year, even though I hate Marines or indifferent at best. Like, qualify that statement, Ed. Why do you like Gilliman now? Because I quite like him as well. reading more about him, I quite like him. The new lore is not terrible. It's just he tends to turn up everywhere and get in everybody's way, which annoys me. Like, I would really enjoy Ultramarines and Rebute Guilliman if Games Workshop would just leave me the fuck alone and let me enjoy them. Right? If they didn't keep just shoving them down my throat, I'd actually enjoy them and think they were pretty cool. Yeah, Flumberken, yeah. If you like medieval history, you will love that game, dude. Just treat it with respect. That's what I would say about Kingdom Come Deliverance. Treat it with respect. If you treat that game with respect and common sense, and don't do silly things, it opens up and it gets really good. Like, I still remember training as a swordsman in that game. It's so fun, man. Actually getting better at being a swordsman, that's great. Loved it. It is an investment, Scruffy, you're right. It's an investment. Yeah, that must have been good, y'all, Ballin. Yeah, that must have been good. Doing it during lockdown. Yeah, man, that is one of them games. One of them games. 6th box of Death Corps of Krieg. Minding Bat, is that 3D printed Krieg or actually bought Krieg? Because you must be broke. You must be broke as shit. The first act bored you to death. Yeah, there's a lot of riding around and not doing much in the first. But it is one of them games, man. Red Dead Redemption 2. Christopher Carter, have you seen my video on the ideal Warhammer 40,000 video game? Because I literally pitched that game that you just mentioned there. In fact, I didn't do it that long ago. There you go. So in that video, I actually pitched a Mass Effect style Warhammer 40,000 video game, and how I'd write it and what would happen, and how I'd do it. It got next to no views, but just one of those things I needed to get out of my system, you know. Yeah, Scruffy, there are only certain reviewers I will even give the time of day. Really. There are only certain reviewers I'll even look at. I used to really like Angry Joe for being really impartial, and he still is really impartial, but his reviews have gotten lazier and lazier and lazier as time has gone on, so I just don't really vibe with it anymore. And he only tends to do like the biggest of the big games, you know. Angry Centaur Gaming, ACG. That's a good one. You know. We really miss Total Biscuit. I will say that. We really do miss Total Biscuit. In terms of game reviewing. Yeah, Ed, yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I get Gilliman. I think that's what it is. I get him. I know what he's... When he's exacerbated with like, oh my god, this fucking Imperium dude. I feel that. Whenever he's like, oh, shut up to one of the priests. I feel that shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. You're right, you know, I just want to get shit done. Shut up. I get him. I'm there with him, yeah. Yeah, he is a good character like that. I like the Ultramarines and Gilliman because I see them as the last bastion of order in the universe. Yeah, I mean, technically they are the last bastion of order in the universe. Imperium Sanctus. Joe is not really lazy, he's just struggling to realise he isn't an 18-year-old who can chug Monster and get up at 6 AM. Yeah, I think that's part of it, man. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it, but there have been certain reviews where I've been like, dude, like, if you're going to do the review, do the review. You know, I'm like, You know, there are ways to do a review like... Because all Angry Joe does is stand in front of a camera with a green screen behind him and rants about video games. Like, if he just did that, he could release a review every couple of weeks. It wouldn't be an issue, you know? I'm being serious. Like, it wouldn't be that much of an issue. Play the game, make some notes, but that's coming from me though, right? So one of the reasons why YouTube has gone quite well for me over the years is that I teach, right? So I've got a natural talent for talking ad lib about a subject that I know about, right? So I'm quite good at getting the knowledge that's in my brain out through my mouth, making it make sense to an audience, you know. But not everybody's like that. Some people need take after take after take to get things right. You know what I'm like. You know what my videos are like. I leave all of my stumbles in the video. I leave all of my stuttering in the video because I just think it's more real that way. I think you sound like you're talking to a guy in a pub, which is what I want. I want people to think that they're talking to a mate about Warhammer and games and life and shit, right? That's what I want. So, you know, I know Joe and other people will want to be really perfectionist, but I don't think that's even necessary. Just get in front of a camera and just fucking talk, dude. Just talk. If you've got something to say on YouTube, it doesn't matter how you say it. If you're interesting in what you're saying, and you're having fun, and you're having a laugh, right? Dude, get in front of a camera, you'll be fine. Right, Noel, have a good one, man. And it's just badass when he's marching outside his ship beating up word bearers. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm currently doing two things this year. Number one, I'm reading through the Siege of Terror again. Now, what I mean by that is I'm reading through Siege of Terror 1, like literally Solar War, all the way through to the end of the death, right? And once I've done that, I'm going to read through the word bearers. So first Heretic, I'm going to follow the graph all the way down to the word bearers when they finish. Because I always missed the betrayal at Kelf and all that sort of stuff. So I need to get over there and read that, because it's good lore. I stopped caring about Angry Joe after it became clear he had a certain bias to genres, focusing on them more, and therefore becoming repetitive and cliche, especially AA titles. Right, okay, yeah, fair enough. YouTube is 90% personality and 10% technical skill. That's why I've gone off most of the long-timer content creators and their American entertainment-style BS. Yeah, I think that's it. You know the reason why? I'm gonna put my... Okay, don't get weird about this, right? I'm gonna put myself in the same bracket as Asmongold here, right? Okay? Whenever I watch Asmongold, I'm like, that's similar to what I do. Obviously, he's got more subscribers than I do, and he's made an amazing career out of it. But the way he just talks to his audience about shit, that's kind of what I do with Hobby Nightmares. You know? You know? And there are a lot more people like that on YouTube now than there are actual people doing the entertainment, you know, trying to be a TV channel but online. And that's good and bad, right? It's good and bad, because we get people with honest opinions and who are actually naturally good at speaking to people. I would class myself in the second bracket there, you know, I'm naturally good at speaking to people. But we also get people who are grifters to a certain extent, you know what I mean? And switch their camera on because they've got a hot button topic they want to talk about and make some money from, right? You know who those are. First Heretic is one of the best heresy books. I would say it's one of the top 3, yeah. I'd say it's one of the top 3. But I do have a controversial opinion about Horus Heresy and Warhammer books in general. Warhammer books aren't very good. Warhammer books in general are not very good. Gonna be honest. Gonna be truthfully honest there. Warhammer books are not great. compared to, like, if you go and read actual fantasy and compare it to, say, Gotrek and Felix, or you go and read actual sci-fi and you compare it to Eisenhorn, those are the two best examples of books in both worlds, right? So Gotrek and Felix are the best Warhammer books by many people's opinions, right? And the Eisenhorn novels are the best 40k books by most people's opinions. Thing is, if you compare them to the other books in their own genres, they're not even in the top 50 books that have ever been written, right? Nowhere near. Absolutely nowhere near. You know. But there are certain books in, shall we say, Horus Heresy and the Warhammer world and different things that are actually good sci-fi books. But you can count them on one hand, right? One being Fulgrim, another being The First Heretic, another being Scars. Scars was great. I love Scars, right? And what's another one in the Horus Heresy that I really liked? I really liked Angel Exterminatus. I don't know why. I think it's because I had Percharabe being badass in it, you know. But definitely those three. Fulgrim, First Heretic, and bollocks, what was the other one? Wherever the other one was that I mentioned. Yeah, Christopher Carter, I agree. So that scene actually got me to write the Exiled Blade as being word-bearer successors. Right? They are literally word-bearer successors. In fact, I'll talk about them in a minute. They are word-bearer successors. And they come from the Perfect City. They come from Monarchia. They come from the planet Kerr. That's where they come from. And the Loyalists. Go figure. Beast Arises is the only 40k series I read back-to-back. I can't stand Marines and Horus Heresy, so when the flat came out about this series, I thought it was kind of funny because my knowledge is pretty better about orcs than most. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Cal from the Ventress lore, pretty much. Okay, cool. Hammer of Olympia was good. Yeah, the Primarch books are good, they're just not very long. I don't think I'm getting my money's worth. Maybe Flumberkin. The thing is with 40k is that it really doesn't matter. Like everything's relevant all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Just because 40k is so long and has so much lore that it really doesn't matter when something was written. Because it can all be lore. It can all be true, right? That's the whole point. Everything is relative. The only thing that is completely true, right, in 40k is that there are no female custodians. That's pretty much the only thing that's actually true, in my opinion. Everything else is up for debate. Also, female space marines, there aren't any. Everything else is kind of up for debate, you know? So, you can read a book from 20 years ago, it's still relevant. Like, Eisenhorn is from 20 plus years ago, and it's still relevant. It still has not been retconned. It's still lore. It is lore, right? It's all there. It's lore. You know? Orcs and Eldar need some 30k rules. Yeah, I agree. I agree. 1,000 Suns should be on that hand. Yeah, 1,000 Suns is good. 1,000 Suns is good. So the books that you fight Xenos are always more interesting. Okay. Alright, I'm with you. The books that you fight Xenos are always more interesting. Yeah, yeah. The sheer hatred of Renegade versus, or Heretic versus Loyal Astartes is Hollywood, though, innit? Do you know what I mean? And no male sister of battle then. Well, that's the thing. There's some people were bringing it up in the last video about female custodians. It's like they can't wait for male sisters of battle then. And I agree. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, if you want to do equality, why can't we have male sisters of battle? It shuts down the entire argument, doesn't it? For female space marines. It really does. So can I have male sisters of battle then? No. Why not? Because sisters of battle are always women. Right. Like space marines, you mean? Are always men. You know, like, it just shuts down the entire argument. Yeah. Brothers of battle, when? Just wait for the lost Primarchs to be brought back as women. Oh my god, can you imagine? But then again, they are the Forgotten and the Purged, so how would they write that? How would they write all of the male Space Marine legions going, fuck these bitches, and killing them all? I almost want to read that. I almost want to read that. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant. Like Perturabo being like, why won't this bitch shut up? Like, I'm telling Dad. I'm sick of these. Sean says, North, have you ever considered trying the Middle-earth strategy battle game? I have. I used to sell it, so I've played it a lot. It's such a good system and very cheap to buy into. Interesting giving some of your takes about 40k. No, I love Middle-earth, man. It's just very hard to find a game, but I love it. I remember in my Games Workshop, there were two lads who got into it together. And it was lovely. They would come in every Thursday, right? And we'd be playing, you know, mostly 40k, but they would always come in early, and I'd always make sure they got a table. And they got to do it, you know, as a fantasy table, and they would do a Lord of the Rings strategy battle game on there. And it would take them, like, maybe an hour to play full game, and they loved it, and then they went home. And, yeah, it was nice to see. I liked it. I liked it. Why can't there be female orcs? Because I say so. Because I say so. How do you know there aren't female orcs? From Barkin. How do you know there aren't any female orcs? Orcs might all be female for all we know. Have you ever seen an orc penis? I mean, that kind of sounds wrong. You know what I mean. An argument I've heard is make a case for female custodies. That's current day politics. Explain that again, Ed? Thank you for the 2, by the way, mate. Thank you very much. But explain that again? An argument I've heard is make a case for female custodies. That's current day politics. Do you mean make a case for them that doesn't involve current day politics? Is that what you meant? Because then I agree. Yeah. If you want female custodians, make a case for them that doesn't involve modern day politics. I'll wait. What happened to your Old World series on the channel, North, by the way? Orc looking female. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, man. I think I just chased the algorithm. They weren't doing very well. Do you know what I mean? They weren't doing very well. So like every one I did got like 500 views. And I was like, why am I spending 6 hours of my day writing this script and then 500 people watch it? You know what I mean? And it may have more views now because people watch my newer videos and they go back through the catalogue, right? But at the time, it made no money. Like it made like 50 cents. That's it, you know, to $1. Like, it's not worth it, man. I know it sucks, but there are certain times when being a YouTuber is about finding a nice middle ground between stuff you really want to write and stuff that will actually get views. Luckily for me, I love Warhammer, right? And a lot of the stuff that I write about actually gets views, which is great. Which is awesome. But lore tends to not get that many views. One of the other things I thought about was that there are so many people doing lore better than I am. You know, have you seen the Amber King's videos? Come on, dude. Come on. Right? That guy's a fucking phenom. He's amazing. He's amazing. Like, I can't do that shit. Like, I just can't do that. Why even... No, I'm good at what I do, right? I'm good at what I do. I give you guys a platform to come on and talk shit. And I love it. I love doing that. I love being that channel where you feel like you've got a mate you can talk to. You feel like you're never on your own. We look after mental health here. We give advice here the best that we can do with the experiences that we've had in life, right? We talk about the hobby. We get people into the hobby. We get people games in the hobby. You know? We talk about stories and great big things and role-playing and all sorts, man. That's what we do here. Lore is something that needs to be done by the professionals, you know? I'm sure, like... Listen, I'm sure that somebody like a Amber King would even look at my videos and go, yeah, I couldn't do that. Right? Same thing. I dabbled in it. Didn't really work out, so I just left it. And let the people who are good at that do that, you know? Yeah. I love how an Angel Exterminatus, it confirms that Perch collects Adeptus Titanicus. Yeah. Yeah, I love the Wargamer thing in there. So one thing I wanted to talk about today was Red Scorpions. Bang! Segue. Red Scorpions, right? Let's talk about Red Scorpions for a bit. Let me send a message to my missus, 1 second. There we go. Red Scorpions. So, did you know that Red Scorpions, Space Marines, are essentially... Let me get a picture of them. Hang on. Let me get a picture of them. Right. One of my favourite songs is this song. It's a brilliant song. This song is called... Mental Minority by Dystopia Now. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant song. Anyway, let me just get this image up. So you know what Red Scorpions look like and what I'm talking about. I know most of you will do, but there you go. Red Scorpions. Now, do you guys know why Red Scorpions were made? Now, if you've heard me say this before, that doesn't count. Right? Put it in the chat now. Do you know why Red Scorpions were made? Because I do. And I don't mean in the lore, I mean by Games Workshop. Do you know why they were made? I'll answer that in a minute, Christopher. I'll answer that in a minute. Do you know why they were made? They're snobs? Yeah, they do look... Yeah. Looks like a cheaper Grey Knight. Yeah. You don't know. Right. I'll give you another couple of seconds and I'll go into it. Because this is one story I do know, straight from the studio. Alright, so the Red Scorpions were made... No, not to cause civil wars. The Red Scorpions were made... No, not to have a chapter with the dull colour scheme, right? No. They were made by the Forge World studio, by the Games Workshop Forge World studio, to take the piss out of gamers out there who only like Forge World stuff and are really snobby with their money. They're taking the piss out of wargamers. That's what they're there for. They are literally pointing at their own audience in Forge World and laughing at them. Because the only place you could get Red Scorpion stuff was Forge World. So they literally were taking the piss out of you to your faces if you got these Marines. Every single time I see somebody with a Red Scorpion army, I have a little snigger internally. I don't tell them, obviously, but like, they literally are made to take the piss out of Forge World players. Because let's see, who are they? They have the best war gear. They're super good, pure little boys, right? They shit on anything that's not as pure as them. They're really arrogant for next to no reason because they're basically a standard Space Marine chapter, right? You know? They think they're the best at everything. They are literally a shitpost, yes. They are a shitpost by the studio, laughing at their own customers. And they got away with it. That's the mental thing. They got away with it. Like, every single time one of those dudes had a few pints, he would say the same thing. Oh, do you know why we made Red Scorpions? Haha. Yeah, I know. You've said it 8 times. They're really proud of it. They're really proud of the fact that they got one over on everybody. And nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Like, at all. You know? Nobody saw it. But your brain did. You know? So the Perturabo thing, that reminded me of it, because Perturabo is a respectful nod to wargamers. You know? The Red Scorpions, less so. That's not a respectful nod. Perturabo collecting miniature warriors and having them fight battles is an absolute nod to wargamers. But let's also be very real. What are Perturabo's characteristics? What are Perturabo's characteristics? He's bitter. He's essentially a large man-child. Right? He has a lot of imposter syndrome, right? He's very like that. Very low self-esteem. And he's a fat nerd. And that's the Primarch they chose to make a wargamer. Autism, yes. That's the Primarch they chose to make a wargamer. They could have made Rogol Dawn a wargamer quite easily. Because he was running so many simulations, right? He was running so many simulations. They could have made him the wargamer, but no. Had to be Perturabo. They're making a point, dude. So whilst it is kind of respectful in the way that it's written, there's parts of it where I'm like, they're saying something about their own audience there. They really are. You know, Games Workshop do that all the time, man. They do it all the time. All the time. There's tons of stuff in the lore where they're poking fun at you, and people don't even realise. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Pert skill issues, Arabo. Now, I'm not having that. I'm not having that, Ed. I'm not having that. Perturabo, low-key, best Primarch. Low-key, best Primarch. There, I said it. I said it. Maybe not in raw power, right? Maybe not in raw combat power, if that's what you care about, you know? But in terms of being a character and winning wars, Perturabo is the best Primarch. If you could solve Perturabo's personality issues, you know, that's the Primarch you'd want at your back. That's the guy. He's a fucking beast. And he's no slouch in combat either. Anybody who slaps down a demon Angron, whether he's been weakened by gunfire or not, is no slouch. And this is before he was like a demon prince as well, by the way. So a demon prince Perturabo is going to be mental power. Mental power. The Drop Podcast says Dawn is better than Perturabo. Peter Turbo. I think... Okay, here's an honest thing. Here's the thing, Drop Pod, okay. In single combat, if he's not losing his... If he's not losing his cool, In single combat, Dawn beats Perturabo. As generals, though, Perturabo beats Dawn. You know why? Because he has done twice. Do you know what I mean? He has done twice. Perturabo's beaten Dawn twice. Once at the Siege of Terror. He did. He got all the way into the Inner Sanctum, dude. That was Dawn's thing. They're not getting into the Inner Sanctum. Well, he did. And then he left. Right? He literally left. He got Horus to the door of the Emperor's front door. Said, go on. Walk in. Kill him. Right? He beat Dawn, man. He beat Dawn and then he left. That's all he wanted to do was beat Dawn. Because he's that bitter and human. He beat Dawn like the petty arsehole he is, and then he left, right? Then comes the Iron Cage incident. He beat him twice. Like, I don't know what else we can say. I like Dawn, man. I'm a big Dawn fan. But he beat him twice. You know? It's just how it is. In combat, though, there's only one winner. There's only one winner in combat. Like if Dawn... There's a very good reason why Perturabo would never step into combat with... Even Primarch Perturabo, Dawn beats him. Because Perturabo's so bitter, he would actually get Dawn down, ready to kill him. And would start gloating, and Dawn would just rip his arsehole open, man. He would absolutely kill the shit out of him. Because he'd give in to his own berserk. Because he is a berserker. Deep down, that's what Dawn is. He goes mental. He becomes Sigismund, but 12 foot tall, and a Primarch, right? That's what happens there. Perturabo beats Dawn, but pushes him too hard. And Dawn reacts and claps his cheeks. You know? Dawn is... no slouch in combat, dude. Dawn, don't sleep on Rogel Dawn. Dawn is, Sanguinius, right? In the end, in the death, he mentions how powerful Dawn is in combat, right? When they're joking about it, they joke about fighting each other. And Dawn's being very humble and says, nah, you're Sanguinius, blah, blah, blah. You know, Sanguinius is like, well, don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. I've seen how angry you get, brother, right? Sanguinius knows, man. If he catches Dawn on a bad day, yeah, he could kill him. You know, he's no slouch. He's a top tier combat Primarch, dude, and he's one of the only Primarchs with another Primarch kill to his name. And that's the thing people seem to forget. Is Dawn's got a Primarch kill there? Nobody else does, right? Apart from Fulgrim. And here's the thing. Okay, he's the only Primarch with a kill on his name who wasn't cheating. That I'll say that. Dawn is the only... he's the only Primarch to kill another Primarch without any shenanigans. Without any shenanigans. One-on-one, he killed Alfarius. One-on-one. You know? You know, so you can't sleep on Rogel Dawn, man. But in war, yeah, Perturabo would win. Perturabo would win. Yeah, a lot of people forget Iron Warriors were quite good in melee combat. Yeah, they are. They are very good in melee combat. Comparing Primarchs purely on combat prowess is like kids comparing who would slap someone harder. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why we're not doing it, right? You've got to do it on all levels, right? You've got to do it on all levels. You know? I still think Primarchs shouldn't have come back. Yeah, I like the mystery and myths about them before 7th and they started returning. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Ideally, I would keep Primarchs well away from 40k. Or... I would bring one back. I'd bring all of the demon Primarchs back. That's fine. Because they're there. They're in the setting. There's no reason for them not to come back. But the dead Loyalist Primarchs, no, I'd keep them gone. The ones that can come back, I'd probably bring back, and that's it. So you'd have... So you've got, like, you know, Gilliman, Dawn, because he is alive. You don't kill off a Primarch like that. Gilliman, Dawn, and the Lion, Russ, even though I don't want him to come back, and Jagatai Khan. Corvus as Korax as well. They will bring back everybody eventually. Do you know what? I'm gonna retcon that. I'm just gonna say no. No Primarch should come back on the Loyalist side, right? You know, but then again, if you're bringing back Demon Primarchs, who's gonna fight Demon Primarchs, right? See what I'm saying? The galaxy is big enough for Primarchs. It was big enough for them back in the day, so I wouldn't be big enough now. You know? So I'm going to disagree there. I'm going to disagree. Right? I'm going to disagree. I think Primarch should come back, but I just think Games Workshop haven't done it very well. There you go. I think Primarch should come back. I just think Games Workshop have handled it very poorly. You know? Drip Commander, a Primarch is still a Primarch, man. Doesn't matter if he's Alfarius or not. Still a Primarch. Killing a Demon Primarch doesn't count for me. Do you know why? Because a Demon Primarch knows he's just being banished and isn't fighting for his life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, a Demon Primarch knows he's just going to go back to the warp, get some bitches, and be right back. So he doesn't care. He's not fighting to preserve his own life. He's fighting to cause pain and misery. And a lot of the time, he knows he's okay with dying. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. I don't care, right? I'll be back. See you later. They're tormenting people, you know? So I don't think killing a Demon Primarch, banishing a Demon Primarch counts as a Primarch kill. Because they're not trying to defend themselves, hardly. They're there to cause pain and misery. The one that's closest would be Magnus and Vulcan when they fight. And the Khan and Mortarion when they fight. That's the closest. Just bring back the Emperor, perhaps in avatar form, just be done with it. Yeah. Dude, do you know what? You know what the scary thing is? You know what the scary thing is, Van Birken? You joke, but in the Beckwin novels, they're setting that up. In the Beckwin novels, they are setting that up. Right? They are literally setting that up. Go and look it up if you don't believe me. They are setting it up. The Emperor is coming back. I'm telling you, he is coming back. Maybe any time in the next 10 years. I think any time before 2035, the Emperor will be back. I'm telling you now. They're setting it up. I'm going to be bold. The Emperor will be back before 2030. The Emperor will be back before 2030. There you go. You heard it here first. 6 years. I give it 6 years. 5, 6 years. Age of the Emperor. Yeah, what a good title for like 15th edition or something, you know? Age of the Emperor. Cool. Well, minding back, no, he was going to become a chaos god called the Dark King. So, in the later Horus Heresy books, The End and the Death, the Emperor is given the chance to become the 5th chaos god, and he turns it down. So, before he goes up against Horus, he's actually given the chance to by the warp itself, basically, to become the 5th chaos god. And then to banish, you know, to batter the other chaos gods into submission. And he says no, and turns it down. But yeah, and it's heavily implied that Horus never had the chance, ever, to become that guy. He was never going to become the Dark King. He wanted to, but he was always a pawn of chaos, which is kind of tragic. It's kind of tragic. He was never... He always thought that I'm going to become this figure. I'm going to become the 5th Chaos God, and I'm going to be... you know? That's where he is. But, yeah, he doesn't, right? Like, he was never meant to do that. It was always the Emperor who was supposed to be the 5th Chaos God, and he turns it down. Now, there are people out there who think he may get that chance again to become another Chaos God, or at least another God in himself, because of the amount of power going into him through people's faith, because you know how that works in the warp, right? And he's getting more and more and more powerful in the current setting. He's doing things all of the time, right? He's doing lots and lots and lots of miracles and things like that, you know, right now. Cheers, Dean. Cheers, dude. What a lovely name you have. From a weary ex-Games Workshop GM to another, my friend, keep up what you're doing, man. Thanks for reading my recent hobby nightmare. Have a beer, coffee on me, sir. Also, Dean certainly has a great name. Ah, yes, it is. Cheers, man. Yeah, I think I remember yours. It was pretty good. You're pretty good hobby nightmare. It was a pretty good hobby nightmare. Q Weird Al Yankovic, everything you know is wrong as the Emperor's return. Yeah. Fight like a man is a good line. Hey North, what do you think will be the next Loyalist Primarch to receive a permanent death? Ooh! That's not where I thought that question was going. That's not where I thought that question was going. Don't know, you know. To die off permanently? I don't think we're going to see one, because they're not going to bring a Primarch back and then just kill him off, right? They're not going to do that. They're not just going to bring a Primarch back and go, well, that's the end of him, and then just, like, you know, no more of that. So I don't think there is going to be one, dude. I think it's going to be... They're all going to come back and live. Because they're going to make that sweet, sweet money. From all of us nerds. We will still have the Big E before GTA 6. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, George, it is, but it's also pretty much confirmed that even with his soul being scattered, it doesn't really matter. You know, the Emperor's coming back because we're empowering his soul so much with our faith, sort of a thing. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on there. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Oh, get me drinks, eh? What's going on there? Thank you. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on there. What's going on there is you've got the Emperor being empowered by the faith we're giving him, right? So, and in the last Horus Heresy book, the Emperor actually, to ward off Horus and to get the power up that he needs to actually beat him, he actually casts away the good parts of his soul, right? He gets rid of all of his mercy and his empathy, and all that's left is his ambition and his rage. Essentially, is all that's left in the Emperor by the time he beats Horus, which is crazy, right? So that's the guy sitting on the golden throne. That's the guy we're empowering with all of our faith. So if he ever does come back, he's not going to be a very nice gentleman, and he's not going to be the, you know, secular, there are no gods emperor. He's going to be like, yes, I am the god emperor of mankind. Bow down to me or I will clap your fucking cheek so hard, right? That's who the emperor is going to be when he comes back. Gilliman dies and the emperor returns from it. I'm calling it. Ooh. Okay. Alright. I can see that. He's already mantled him once, right? I can see that. Are you saying, Flumberken, are you saying that the Emperor comes back in Gilliman's body and they share a body? Or do you reckon he comes back and just takes over his body? Or is Gilliman's soul being used as the catalyst to bring him back? Like a sacrifice? Take your British weather back, it's been raining all week in SC. The The Great Khan dying would be nice. Ride Faroon. Yeah, you're leading a final charge. That'd be cool. Like, it would be really funny for the Khan to come back and then just ride off screen again. Supersonic says, I reckon Big E will be like Sigmar for AOS when he returns, as he won't be able to leave the Golden Throne, but he'll astral project himself to be places and run the Imperium, but he won't be so nice. So the idea I had for the Emperor's return was the Terminus Decree, which is a real thing in the lore, right? It is a piece of equipment, or a decree that the Grey Knights have to head back to Terra and essentially switch off the Golden Throne and kill the Emperor's mortal remains. Well, that's what it's hinted as being, anyway. And I would use that to bring back the Emperor. I would say, right, Caldor Drago comes back and is like, okay, I'm being empowered by the Emperor right now. I need to get to the Golden Throne right now. Right now. My purpose is finally here. I need to get to the Golden Throne. I am that powerful a Psyker. I need to get to the Golden Throne. So they take Caldor Drago to the Golden Throne, and he enacts the Terminus Decree. Do you know what it is? He takes his sword and he cuts the Emperor's head off, pulls the body off, and sits on the Golden Throne. Plugs himself in, right? Just plugs himself in. As he plugs himself in, the Astronomicon goes out and then comes back again. The Emperor's body starts to reform and reknit on the floor of the throne room. Starts to come back and reform and reknit. And the bones and the sinew start forming together. The blood starts to pump again. The heart starts to go again. And then all of a sudden, the Emperor's there. Naked, but he's there. He's not as powerful as he once was, right? He's not as powerful as he once was. Because most of his power is still in the Golden Throne, powering it. But he needed somebody to be there as the conduit, to be on the throne as the person holding the gate shut. You know? That's what the Grey Knights were always supposed to be. They were supposed to be led by Magnus, remember? The Grey Knights were supposed to be led by Magnus the Red. That was the Emperor's contingency. He said, you are going to lead the Grey Knights instead of the Thousand Sons. And Magnus turned it down, because Magnus was always supposed to be the guy sitting on the Golden Throne whilst the Emperor walked around the universe. Walked around the material universe. Right? So Caldor Drago does that. But he's not as good as Magnus, which kind of means that the Emperor has to expend a lot of his energy empowering Caldor Drago from wherever he is in the galaxy. So we do have the Emperor back walking around, but essentially all he is a very powerful Primarch. You know, he could kill Guilliman, no problem, but he would struggle against one or two demon Primarchs, right? But the Emperor is back. That's what I would do. That's how I would do it. Drago would come back and be like, right, my place is on the Golden Throne. He would relinquish his command. Go, somebody else can be Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights. But how fucking cool would it be, right, if the Emperor came back and said, no, that's me. That's my job. We swap roles now. I lead the Grey Knights. You sit on the Golden Throne. That's your fate. I was waiting for the right man to take over the Grey Knights and to be empowered by the warp, which you have been. All this time you've been in the warp, you've been empowering yourself further and further and further. Now you're powerful enough to sit on the Golden Throne and withstand its energies. Now we will swap places. You come to me, you sit on this throne, I will take your place. I am now Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights. I am the Emperor of mankind, and I'm back, baby. That's what I would do. That's what I would do if it was me. And that model would sell like virgins in Nairobi. No, that was something else, Flumberkin. That was something else. It was rumoured that that's what it was. But, no. So the Terminus Decree, the actual markings on the Terminus Decree itself are the same ones that are on the Golden Throne. And they point that out very purposefully, Games Workshop as well. So that they point that out to make sure you see that. So, you know. Do you think it would cause a second civil war in the Imperium? Now, that's something that I've actually talked about. You could do that if you wanted to. You could have the Imperium become some sort of Byzantine Empire in space, where you've got like two halves, a Roman Empire that's split in two. But we've already done that, right? So what I would do, I would have the Emperor. He doesn't really give a shit about Imperium Sanctus, because he says to Guilliman, you take that, right, and rule it in my name. He goes into Imperium Nihilus, right, and he rules that. He basically says, or you could just have him centered on Terra, and he leads another crusade to unite the galaxy. And who does he lead? The Sisters of Battle, the Custodes, the Ecclesiarchy, all of the Ecclesiarchy's forces, all of them are puritanical Space Marine chapters. He reinstates the legions, right? So the Emperor has legions. In his part of the galaxy, the legions are back. He reorganizes them. Says, no, we're having legions now. There are no chapters. What is that? That's stupid. No, we're not doing that, right? That's what he would do. And so you would have 3 different flavors of Imperium, right? You would have the modern 40k Imperium, which would be Imperium Sanctus, which is Guilliman, right? Ruled from Macragge. You would have a combination of both and a tragic hero Imperium in Imperium Nihilus, which is ruled by Dante on Baal, right? And you would have an old school 3rd edition style grimdark religious Imperium ruled from Terra, expanding outwards in a new great crusade ruled by the returned Emperor. Fuck me, I'd buy the shit out of that. I would buy the shit out of that. I really would. I really would. I'd buy that. The Emperor should be put into the Ultimate Dreadnought or Titan. That'd be really funny. Yeah, I think the Emperor should kill a Primarch. Yeah. Yeah, probably. So, I think the reason why the Emperor should probably stay away from... I think he should kill a Demon Primarch, and he should kill a Loyalist Primarch. So once we've got 3 or 4 Primarchs on each side back, the Emperor comes back and kills one of them each. Right? But what we do, we're very, very, very careful. Right? So, we start building up... a successor to the ones who are going to die. So, if Guilliman's going to die, we start building up a new dude, right? Who's super powered. Really, really powerful, really, 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 really powerful Marine to take him over. Not Calgar, somebody else. We start empowering them. And that person gets involved in something like the Diadochi project. That's it. Diadochi project. That means successors. The Diadochi is ancient Greek for successors, or ancient Macedonian for successors, right? So Guilliman installs something because he knows he might not live forever, and so he starts choosing people to be implanted with a new enhanced version of his gene seed, right? Which essentially turns them into mini Primarchs. Only one survives, and that's the guy who's going to take over his role when he dies. And this is an ultimate fucking dude, right? And he offers to do it for other legions too, other chapters too, but most of them refuse, right? So when Guilliman does die by the Emperor's hand, we have somebody to take over from Guilliman straight away. I would have him kill a Demon Primarch too. Take your pick. Doesn't matter which one it is. I would say Angron, simply because it's putting the poor guy out of his fucking misery. So I'd probably say Angron. He probably kills Angron. And we have Kharn ascend to become, essentially... a demon who is capable of killing the Emperor out of vengeance, right? That's what we do. That's what I would do. Titus is the next Primarch. That did enter my mind. But he doesn't have the special source, right? Because Primarchs are made of the warp. They have warped souls in them. Really, really, really powerful warped souls. It's hinted that they are warp gods trapped in human bodies. You know what I mean? That's what's hinted. So it wouldn't really work for Titus to be a Primarch. You know, I would have Call make a lesser Primarch. You know? He makes the Primaris version of a Primarch, and that's the guy who takes over Guilliman when he dies. That's what I would do. Ed, thank you for the 2, mate. Awesome. Hot take. Next Primarch for 40k Demon Fulgrim. That's not hot. I think that's completely reasonable. That's a reasonable take. He is Flumberkin, but that just means, you know, he's been in the warp and shit. Like, is Kaldor Drago a Primarch? No, right? He's not a Primarch. Kaldor Drago is not a Primarch. He's very powerful as a Space Marine. He's probably one of the best Psychers in the galaxy, by a long way. But he's not a Primarch. You know, Primarchs have literal warp god souls in them that defy fate. That's why fate bends to Primarchs. To keep them alive and to let them do amazing things, like, you know, bodying a Titan and things like that. That's why Demon Primarchs are so fucking powerful, man. Well, they should be. Some of the chapter masters getting turned into Primarchs, but no, I don't think we should do that, Jay. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I mean that new Primaris are created by Cole. Cole takes the... So Cole's next objective... He's done the Primaris Marines, right? He now wants to do Primarchs. He now wants to mass-produce Primarchs for Guilliman. Guilliman doesn't know anything about it, right? We'll say that. Guilliman doesn't know anything about it. But he calls it the Diodoki Project. The Successors Project, right? And he succeeds in creating one. And it is basically a new Guilliman. It's basically an exemplar of Guilliman's gene seed, you know, as a Primarch. It's a new Primarch made for the new age. A Primaris Primarch. And he, instead of actually having him be given any special treatment, he starts him from the bottom. He sends him to the Ultramarines, says, figure it out. Figure it out. And this guy rises in the new age of 40k to be Guilliman's second-hand man. He's literally, you know, an amazing Marine. He's a little bit taller than Guilliman. It's amazing. Like, he's this fucking huge dude. He's essentially a Primarch. And he's set up for when Guilliman dies at the Emperor's hands, we've got a new Primarch there to take over. And it would mean all these people saying, you know, plot armor Guilliman, well, that shuts that up, doesn't it? You know, anything can... It's like Eddard Stark dying in Game of Thrones. It's that moment, isn't it? Anything can happen in 40k. That gets a lot of people addicted when Guilliman dies to this new vengeful Primarch. To this new vengeful Emperor who comes back. Can you imagine? This new, like, kind of evil warp god Emperor comes back. You know? But in a weird way, he's still saving humanity. So now it's up to you as a player. Where do you go? Do you support Guilliman and this new successor? Do you support Dante? Or do you support the Emperor, right? And even then, you can have Chaos people coming back and going, well, what about us? Well, you got your Demon Primarchs, yeah? What happens when Angron falls, right? Kharn's doing nothing right now. I would make him the new I would make him so Angron's soul just warps into Kharn and creates this melded being. That is basically, imagine Angron if he can think. Imagine how crazy dangerous that would be. Angron, but he can think. Do you know Janus, the guy who is the first Grey Knight's Grandmaster, right? He's an amalgamation of Magnus, a shard of Magnus the Red, and Raviel Arbiter, right? Imagine a new Khorne Primarch that is an amalgamation of the souls of Kharn and Angron in the same body. Dude. My god, man. My god. Maybe, Avikins, maybe. Long live the Lion and Dante. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. I would actually have Dante live longer, right? But I would have him and Sanguinius actually talk and come to an understanding. When Sanguinius says, listen, when it gets too much, I'll take over your body. You know, from the warp. I'll come back and take over your body. So Dante sprouts these ethereal, ghostly gold wings when the shit really hits the fan, and that's basically Sanguinius mantling him. You know, for one last charge. You know, that's what I would do. That's how I'd bring Sanguinius back. He's still tragic. He doesn't come back. He just mantles every now and again. As a tragic hero, he mantles Dante every now and again. It's tragic for Dante too. Now he has to stay alive even longer. That's what I would do. In fact, I'm probably going to do like a big series on where 40k would go for me. I'll do the Exalverse soon. I will. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll do it next Sunday. How about that? Next Sunday, I will record Tuesday's 40k rant on Sunday live. And we'll go through each and every single one of the original legions and what they did during the heresy in the Exalverse. Yeah? And then the week after that, we'll do the Emperor Returns, what would happen there, and we go from there. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Michigan Yankee, they're not letting him do anything. Like they're not letting Cole do anything. The Cole's doing things on Gilliman's orders, isn't he? So most of them don't like him because he's doing that. They do say so in Fabius Biles' books, they speak about this. So Mars do not like Cole at all. Most of them, they think he's he's gone a bit too far. You know. Owen, I would say, why don't we do a thing where we have every faction gets its own big bad. That's how we should be doing it, right? So Gazgul should get a power up. You know, there should be an avatar of the hive mind for the Tyranids. Each and every single faction should have a single character who is capable of killing a Primarch. In my eyes, you know. Yeah, Avikins. Yeah. I think Gilliman knows that he could be Fabricator General, but if you give Cole that kind of power, like, nah, he already takes things too far as it is. But I think it would be really cool seeing Cole's little secret project Primarch join the Ultramarines in a new book series and climb the ranks. And then the big thing at the end is it's revealed that, you know, this guy's a Primarch. You know? And it'll be somebody like the Lion who says, no, this guy's one of us. Do you not see it? Like, this guy's one of us. Like, he's not of your gene seed, Rebute. He's got his own gene seed. He's just him, right? That'd be cool. I think bringing back Thunder Warriors is going back a bit too far. I think by that stage we're into like mental fanfic territory. I like Thunder Warriors. I think they serve their purpose and they are where they need to be. Right. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go chill. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm going to be back tomorrow with some more Hobby Nightmares. And I'll be back on Tuesday, where I'll be talking about why I hate Space Wolves so much. Because I keep getting questions about that, because people haven't seen the older videos. So I thought I'd remake the video with what I know now. Because there are a few other things that I know now. Maybe I'm a bit nicer to Space Wolves, maybe I'm not. But I'll see you on Tuesday for that. There'll be more Hobby Nightmares tomorrow. Thank you for all of you who donated. Thank you so much, man. It means the world to me. Ed, you're a legend, my friend. Thank you very much. Dean, you're a legend. Thank you so much, man, for helping out the channel and doing things like that. Really is good of you. And Drop Pod, thank you very much for, Dropcast, sorry. Thank you very much for joining the channel. What a main man you are. Thank you very much. So, I will see you tomorrow for some more Hobby Nightmares. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll speak to you next week for some more, well, hobby lore. We'll do some hobby lore and a showcase next week. Why not? See you then. Have a good one. Bye now.